Today we're going to have a look at what divots can tell you about your golf swing. So let's go and get stuck in with this and let's see how we can get you improved with another game-changing golf tip. Hi everyone, and thanks once again for tuning into Smash Factor TV. My name is Natalie Adams. So today we're going to be having a look at what your divots can tell you with regard to what's going on in your swing and how you can use that to help you improve your game. Now, the first thing we want to look for is the depth of the divot. So if we have a look at these divots here, these divots are very, very shallow, okay, and when we're looking at the ground, they're not leaving a really deep crater in the ground. So that shows you that you're coming in quite shallow, you are striking the ground, but you're not swinging down too steep. If you started to swing down too steeply, we'd see a much deeper depth of divot. We only want to see that divot a couple of millimeters in depth. We certainly don't want it getting deeper than that, otherwise you're swinging down far too steeply and you'd want to shallow the swing out. Similarly, if you're not taking a divot at all, you're maybe not swinging down steeply enough, or you're not getting the club and the swing arc of the club to actually touch the ground as you go through. So you'd want to see at least some blades of grass coming up, even if you don't take a really particularly deep divot, but you certainly don't want to be taking a real chunk and like a sirloin steak kind of piece of grass out of the ground. So looking at those, if you're taking too deep a divot, you need to shallow your swing slightly. If you're not taking enough divot, work on getting the club to connect with the ground just that little bit more. And remember, you want to be taking the ball and then the turf. You want to be hitting downwards as you strike that golf ball, especially with your irons. If we're looking at your fairway woods, we'd want to just skim the surface that little bit more just to pick the ball off the top. So if you're practicing on grass, you can use each divot if you specifically put the ball in position. So there's a divot here for me, and I'm just putting this ball just to the right of that divot. So I want to see that the divot I take with this shot is going to match with this divot here, because the ball is on the back of the divot. Okay, if you're not doing that, you could maybe put a T-peg marker in. So if you just pop a T-peg on the floor just to show you where the ball was, and then when you hit the shot, you can then look at where the divot started compared to where that ball is. So if I now hit this shot, you'll be able to see where the divot has been taken in relation to where the ball started. So let's have a go at that. And now I can look back here, the two divots are lined up, and the T-peg marker as well, the divot has been taken to the left of that. So I know that I've struck the ball and then struck the turf, so I know the low point of that swing arc is in the right place. And I'll put a card on the video here as well that'll give you a really helpful drill if you need to improve where your low point is for your swing arc and to get you striking that golf ball and then the turf, especially with those irons. Okay, next thing divots are going to be very helpful with is direction. So if we have a look at the divot direction here, what I would do is just generally pop an alignment pole or stand behind the divot to have a look at where the divot is aiming at. Now, divots can't tell you your swing path, but they can give you an indication of the swing direction. So if you noticed, if the yellow line here was the direction we want to hit the ball in, and you notice all your divots are going this way, across that rather than in line with it, that would suggest that you're swinging the club too much to the left of target. So you want to have a look at your alignment, check that you're aligned parallel to this yellow pole here, and then when you swing through, if you're still making the divot this way, you'd know that you're swinging the club that way, and that can be an indicator of an out to in swing path. It doesn't mean you definitely have one, but because as you become a better player and that handicap starts dropping, you can swing the club to the left and have an in to out path, but just generally it would indicate an out to in path, and you'd maybe then want to have a look at the swing and just correcting that a little bit more. So lots that Divots can help us with there. I'll put a couple of links on to help you with shallowing your path, and also with stopping that over the top movement to help maybe straighten those divots up a little bit. But the next time you're out on the course, have a look at what those divots are like, and just have a look at how deep they are and the direction that they're pointing in, because it will give you a lot of information as to what's going on in your swing. It's a game-changing golf tip.